Is this the end of automotive YouTube as we know it? Are the large channel, big group conglomerate channels circling the drain? I think there's an argument to be made here, and I'm definitely interested in talking about it. We've got Hoonigan that's falling apart after Ken Block passed away. We've got Donut Media that looks like it's fracturing with two of their main hosts, and really the two guys that know a lot of things about automotive, now no longer staying with that company. Motortrend has been falling apart for a while now. It's been a writing on the wall kind of thing, and we really never know where they're going to end up. I think it's a conversation we should definitely have. I think that's going to be tonight's conversation on Tuesday's Talking and Sipping. So I'm going to go pour myself something to drink. I'm still at the shop, obviously, so I'm limited on my supply, but I think I have something in my desk supply that'll get us through the night. I'm going to go pour myself a beverage. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Be right back. Tonight, it's coming out of my desk stash. Old Forge French Toast Moonshine. Abso-freaking-lutely. That'll hit the spot tonight. Just a little bit of that. And maybe a little more. That's good. Ugh. All right. Let me tell you something. If you've never had French Toast Moonshine, that's sinful. And I'm saying that's sinful. Sweet as heck. If you have diabetes, I probably wouldn't recommend trying it, but that's something to drink. So, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, large automotive YouTube channels. So the news just broke the other day. Many of you probably aren't familiar with Donut Media. If you are, it's an 8.5 million subscriber channel. Everything that they put out puts out 1 million plus views, give or take. And they do a wide range of things, from builds to reviews to product stuff to game show stuff, all kinds of things. But their two main automotive hosts, the two guys that really know a decent amount about automotive stuff, have now announced, Jeremiah Burton and Zach Jobe, that they are leaving Donut Media, and they're doing their own thing that is now officially a thing called Bigtime. It's a brand new YouTube channel that they just started, and it's going to be just those two guys working in the garage at Jobe's place. I think you're working on his S14 is going to be the first thing they're going to work on. Now, this is a younger crew than what most of you are probably going to be watching. I know my analytics and most of my guys that watch this are 35 to 65 plus. So some of you probably are familiar with Donut, some of you probably are not. But they are a major, major player in the automotive YouTube side. They started really getting their legs underneath them during COVID and grew out of that. When COVID was happening and they were West Coast, they're California, they really couldn't do much of anything. They couldn't come to the studio and create stuff. They couldn't get together and collaborate and that kind of thing. So a lot of these guys were kind of just doing their own thing at their own places or, in a very small crew environment as they could. And one of the main things that really launched that channel off the ground was Zach Jobe, who is a fellow Ohioan. He's actually from ECS Tuning up north of me here in the Akron area near Summit Racing. He joined that crew, and he's really, really good. He's smart, he's fun, he's funny. I got you. He knows his stuff. Real good guy. Very eloquent, energetic, funny, and educated on the automotive side of things. He's a drifter. He's an import guy. It was a cool addition to the channel. And he started off building a Miata in his garage while he was basically stuck at home, not able to do anything during COVID. And it really grew really well. Jeremiah Burton is, I believe, probably the most educated person at Donut Media. He is a bioengineer kind of guy, and he had a job in that industry, doing well, and he was also doing comedy on the side. Tall, drink of water, smart dude. He's kind of the doctor of the crew and explains all the sciencey, mathy stuff whenever you get into the sciencey, mathy stuff. But entertaining guy as well. He comes from a very motorcycle background. I believe he's a Florida man, which I'm not going to hold against him. But those two guys are undoubtedly two of the most well-liked and well-respected presenters in Donut Media. And they have decided that they're parting ways with Donut Media to do their own thing. And the reason that they cited, I think, is incredibly important. Donut Media was purchased by another company a while back. And after that purchase, they have seen Donut Media change. They have seen the content that they are able to create change. And not for the better. The income is up. They're making more money at the channel. They're growing. But the revenue is not necessarily trickling down to the people that create the content, if that makes sense. And the content has started really chasing clicks. It's been chasing... Listen, it's kind of Mr. Beastification of automotive. If you're not familiar with Mr. Beast, he's the guy that basically owns YouTube. I don't even know how many people he has subscribed now. It's north of 250 million people. He's enormous. But what he does is he does these little challenge things, or these super crazy things where he does, you know, I stay in a hotel that's $1 and I stay up to a hotel that's $10,000 a night. That's what he does. He does these crazy off-the-wall things with massively expensive things because he can. And Donut has kind of embraced that philosophy, I think, where they're building things that are not relatable to anybody. Anybody. Right now, they're in the process of building a Baja Truck out of like a $500 Ford Ranger. And they're $120,000, not including labor, into building this Baja Truck out of a Ford Ranger. Guys, come on. Totally unrelatable. Now, is it interesting because somebody's filming it and willing to do it? I guess. Maybe. I mean, I watch the episodes, so they get my click. But it's not relatable. It's just, nobody would build that. It makes no sense. Who wants $250,000 Ford Ranger when you factor in all of the sponsored parts and the labor that they've put into it and all the other things? Unbelievable money. Unbelievable money put into this thing. And I think they've really lost their way. They've done things like, they did a car review the other day of some neo-Chinese SUV thing that's not even in the United States. And they're talking about, you know, comparing it to modern cars, or, you know, U.S. cars, Teslas specifically, things that are sold here in the U.S. Domestic market, that Chinese vehicles are not here yet. And that's a legitimate conversation to have, but it's kind of goofy, and it's not real educational. And I think it's starting to get to the point where you're seeing something similar to that happen in a lot of different places around YouTube. I think we're kind of at a deflection point where the channels that are these huge corporate, you know, groupthink, everybody votes on what, you know, content is going to be created, what's going to get the most clicks, is kind of dying. And I think that's probably a good thing. It's going away from that hyper-produced, overly YouTube-faced stuff, and getting, I think, back to kind of what YouTube really started as. It was a little place that we could all kind of share our projects and our passions and our experiences, and we could, you know, develop a community around our people. Now, I'm not saying that Donut hasn't developed a community around. They absolutely have. But it feels like they kind of, I don't want to use the term sold out, but they kind of sold out. You know, now they have the official exhaust sponsor of Donut Media, the official oil sponsor of Donut Media, the official this, the official that. Like, guys, you're just a studio in Southern California with a bunch of guys that are just kind of throwing some stuff together with massive budgets. You know, it's not like you're building classic hot rods. It's not like you're building race cars. It's not like you're like, I don't know. And I could be jaded because I don't have 8.5 million subscribers. Maybe. God, I can't even imagine the headache of having 8.5 million subscribers. I could probably imagine the paychecks. million views per video. I'd probably do some dumb shit too on TV to be able to make that kind of money. Anyways, I digress. That's Donut Media. That's where Donut Media is right now. Hoonigan, you know, it's unfortunate Ken Block passed away. Ken Block is somebody that I don't want to use this term lightly, is a legend in the automotive world, especially in the automotive media world. You know, he's got a skateboarding and shoe background, but that man did anything and everything you could possibly imagine and was fearless, absolutely fearless. He lived life all day long, every day. He was incredible. He was a hell of a driver. If you're not familiar with Ken Block, look up his Gymkhana series that's on here. The things he would do with a car are absolute ballet. There's really nothing else to say. And when he passed away, he was the glue that held that whole group together. And it is still succeeding. It is still there. But a lot of the pieces and parts that kept that group together and that made that group special is gone, specifically because Ken is gone. That one I'm actually a little upset about. I loved what he did. I loved his energy and his passion. And I was really hoping that something could carry that flame. That there was somebody else that could step into those shoes, but I don't think there is. And I kind of understand why that one could fall apart. Because it was built a lot on Ken and his energy and his positivity and his shenanigans. So, you know, Hoonigan is falling apart. The Motortrend side of things, I never know what to think about Motortrend, to be honest with you. I don't know. I know that print media is dying. You know, newspapers and magazines. It's dying. When was the last time you bought a newspaper or a magazine? I know my last magazine I bought, it was when I bought the video, or the one to doing the video about is Pontiac coming back. It's coming back, by the way. Man, that is so good. Oh, it's like drinking waffles, syrup. So good. But when was the last time you spent any money? When was the last time you subscribed and got delivery of a magazine? Probably not lately. So a lot of that's dying off. And a lot of the people are kind of fading off because they've been doing this for 20 or 30 years. You know, Freiberger and Finnegan and those guys, like, they've been doing this a really long time. And I don't know that there's necessarily anybody that wants to step in their shoes or that can step in those shoes. You know, Derek, Vice Grip Garage, he does a show for those guys, Roadworthy Rescue. And that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. The whole, like, you know, will it run and drive thing, it's not my shtick. But clearly it's a thing. It's successful on YouTube. There's plenty of people that have shown that it can be successful and it can be a major moneymaker. So, you know, go for it if that's your thing. But essentially all Derek is doing is taking what he does on Vice Grip Garage and just putting it into a show for those guys in a shorter form. That's pretty much it. Why did I put my cup down over here? Which I don't know. I don't know how well that show's doing. I hope it's paying the bills. I know Derek is stretched incredibly thin because he's got so many things that he does, so many responsibilities. That man is all over the place all the time, doing all kinds of things with sponsors and partners and this show and that show and this, you know, all kinds of stuff. I guess it's the chase the dollar thing, you know. Fame only lasts so long, so ride the lightning while you can. But a lot of it takes the passion out of what you probably love to do in the first place. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to talk about with this, is how some of this can really kill the initial excitement and enjoyment and passion that brought us into automotive YouTube in the first place. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I've been a car guy since before I could drive. And I got into the YouTube thing essentially really as just kind of a marketing thing, to be honest. I work in Lucor Automotive, obviously, and we work on a lot of cool cars. And it became a great way for us to be able to be transparent with our customers, to be able to show what we're doing and what challenges we run into. And, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, when you call somebody and you say, hey, by the way, we've run into this problem, this problem, and this problem, and we need to do this, this, to this to be able to fix it. Well, it's unfortunate but true that our automotive repair industry has a horrible reputation of fleecing people, taking advantage of people. Well, the easiest way you do that is you be transparent. You be honest. You show them what you're working on, what you're running into, what the problems are. And that transparency has served us very well here at the shop. We are very, very busy. We have a waiting list for anything classic car, any of the big build stuff. It's an extensive waiting list, and we love our customers for that. Thank you all so much for that. And I've had a great time doing the YouTube thing, but the thing we've run into is we are so busy now with customer stuff and projects and things that we need to do for paying customers that it became challenging for us to even be able to, myself and Rich, us would be the two of us, to work on any of our own stuff, to go out to any kind of events or go play with any of our own toys, work on any of our own builds. I don't even want to talk about how many cars between the two of us we have sitting in the back of this shop and in various other places. In my garage, in his garage, in storage lockers. That's a story for another night. But what you can get caught up in is you lose the passion and the excitement and the enjoyment of what you do. You start chasing the almighty dollar and paying the bills, and you lose a lot of that why you got into wrenching and why you got into the YouTube automotive specifically, YouTube world to begin with. And it's something that really kind of made me start this channel, to be honest. That's one of the main driving features of this was I wanted to get back to working on a Tuesday night after hours. You know, the shop's closed. We're not working on customer stuff. I can work on my own toys. I can work on my own projects. I can spend 2, 3, 4 hours working, you know, wrenching on something of my own. I can go to the local place and grab some wings and be all greasy and nasty and covered in sweat, eaten alive by the bugs that are back here, but I've been working on my project. Like a lot of you guys who maybe don't have YouTube channels, but, you know, share that same passion. It's a dangerous thing when you have a YouTube channel because you end up worrying about your viewership, you worry about your subscribership, you worry about your click-through rate and your average watch time and when the people clicked away and when to do ad breaks and how many ad breaks to do. And there's so many different things you worry about and things you start thinking about when it becomes something where you're making money off of it. Now, you know, things like Donut Media, like those guys created that channel. Those guys made that channel what it is. And then it got to the point where they couldn't control their own schedules, their own production stuff. They couldn't pick their own projects. They couldn't do anything. And I get it. That sucks. And it's a trap you can easily fall into. So I think this is an interesting moment. This is an interesting inflection point where I think things are really going to change with automotive YouTube. I think this is a fantastic time for people to get into automotive YouTubing. Not just specifically because I'm starting a new YouTube channel here, but because I think people are changing their consumption of YouTube. Some of you may know me from the work we do with the Street Racing Channel guys and Old Man's Garage. Those guys are a prime example of small town guys that have had incredible success thanks to YouTube. They are able to live the life that they live and do the things that they do because of YouTube. If it wasn't for it, they'd still be digging holes. Not that there's anything wrong with digging holes. But because of the community that they built up and the people that support them and watch their videos and buy their t-shirts and their things, They are able to support the racing program that they have. They are able to do the things that they do, and they still enjoy what they do. They haven't lost that excitement and enjoyment of what they do. Now, there's definitely points where they're not enjoying themselves. Billy, I hope you heal quickly. I hate to see you get burnt like you did. He's recently had a little bit of an accident while he was working on something, and looks a little bit like Beavis at the moment. But you know, even those guys get to the point where they're getting a little stressed out about, like, look, I got to make some good content. I got to make some good content. I got to make some good content. It's not necessarily, you know, you got to focus on the bills. It's not necessarily what they want to do. It's what they need to do to pay the bills. And I'm sure at some point in time, if this channel gets big, or the Lucor channel, if the Lucor channel gets huge, I'm sure at some point in time that moment will come for me, or come for us. And it's possible. And I don't want that to happen. I want this to continue to be something that I'm truly proud of, that I'm happy to do, that I love doing. You know, I don't want to get it to be something where it's unrelatable, where I'm building, you know, $100,000 hot rods. I don't care. We don't even really like working on $100,000 hot rods, much less building them, because most people don't play with them. We like playing with our toys. I want to get this thing ripping and roaring, and I want to go out and do big smoky burnouts, and go to cruise-ins, and go on power tour, and I want to go on long road trips, and I want to go to no-name nationals with it, and I want to drive the shit out of it. And it's not going to be numbers matching. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to have a concours d'elegance. None of that. I'm going to drive the shit out of it, just like every single one of my other toys that I drive. I drive the shit out of all of them. I don't have them because they're assets and because they make me money. All of them lose me money. I do it because I love it, and I want to continue to have that passion. And I don't know whether or not Motortrend can get back to what they used to be. I doubt it. I don't think Hoonigan can ever get back to what they used to be because of losing Ken Block. I don't think Donut's going to survive this, losing those two guys. If you're not familiar with them, I highly recommend you check them out. Bigtime is their new YouTube channel. I hope they survive. I do. I think they've got some great potential, and I think they've got a really cool community they've got built up there. But I don't know that they're going to have to bring somebody in that's got a lot of automotive experience, that's also super comfortable on camera. No, I'm not interested. And I don't know that that person's there. I don't know that this person's available, or that they would say yes to that offer. So we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I am almost done with mine. Thanks for joining me for a little Tuesday talking and sipping. I think this is going to be kind of a series. Normally I'm doing this on my porch at my house, but it's a nice night, and I decided to work a little extra late tonight and work on some things. So we're going to do it in the backyard, next to the 68 Le Mans project that I promise I am working on. I am moving forward on. I will go be seeing Bob here in the next day or so, because I've got parts to drop off so we can get block machining. Anyway, that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm done. My drink is empty. The sun is setting. We're going to call it quits here, guys. This is Automotive Adventures with Austin. This is not normally what I do on this channel. It's more project cars and my own crazy little adventures. Afternoons, weekends, evenings, when I'm outside of the shop doing things that are not my official duties here at Lucor Automotive. If you're interested in this kind of thing, it's going to be basically all me, or people that I'm going to be working with. So it's going to be a lot less professional, much more me. Please click on the subscribe button. Love to have you here. We're a growing YouTube channel. We're at like 2,300 subscribers at the moment, which is awesome. Very proud of us for getting there. And I have a video coming up soon talking about some analytics and money, about how much money I've made on YouTube. We're going to compare that to how much I've spent. And I also have one that's going to really ruffle your feathers, that I'm going to be filming here very shortly, about female automotive YouTubers. And that's going to piss some people off. So guys, I hope you're doing great. I hope you have a great evening. Enjoy the video. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. I always read the comments. I do my best to respond back to them. I will see you guys probably tomorrow or maybe Thursday. Got a lot going on, but I'll see what I can do. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Or day, depending on when you watch this. We'll see ya.